really appreciate this open mic and this space and you and everything you do to make this show happen every month. So let's all give Holly a hand for putting this space together and this show every month. I'm just really glad to be here. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun on the open mic. So I'm going to take you all on a journey with me that starts with my first book, which was called Bruises and Love Bites. And it was 15 poems, so it's a short book, but they're snappy, saucy little poems. One of them's called Cat Fight, but the one that is my favorite of the 15 is called Deviant. I have metamorphed, transfigured, become a supervillain. You can train the human body to do anything. I've been practicing the splits and lying very flat, making myself invisible, learning to escape from ropes, chains, handcuffs, straitjackets, shark cages, dead-end relationships. I'm going to do the splits on a tightrope between two buildings with no net. I'm going to creep into people's houses and reset their thermostats. I want to spin on a wheel of fortune while gypsies hurl knives just past my lips. I want to swallow swords and fire and walk on coals and broken glass. I'm bored with the world. I have no regard for man's laws. I'm no ordinary bitch. I know when to be loud and when to be silent at last. My poetry is just the beginning. My body is a medium. The world is a stage. This life is a page. I am never content. Look for me on the rooftops, in the shadows, on the stage, in the lights, ready to show you how extraordinary humans can be when they are free. It is always a crime to hold another person against their will. We should tear down every prison on every hill and live in anarchy. Thank you. The next book that I worked on is called The Holoscape, and the cover art was done by a tattoo artist named Chris Rouse, and it was the first book that he worked as an illustrator on. It is dedicated to the poets of Dallas, Texas. I'll just read you the little blurb off the back. Lost in the neon landscape of Dallas, Texas, seeking oblivion in drugs, alcohol, and toxic relationships, a new reality begins to emerge, the Holoscape, where the glamorous darkness reigns supreme. A poetic exploration of a woman's downfall and struggle to heal in a city at the heart of urban art, music, and poetry. So the two poems I'm going to read you from the Holoscape are Fate of the Nymph and Hierarchy of Needs. So, Fate of the Nymph. The satyr's spoiled season shall have this billowing breath, this nonsensical entity ripped from the vaginal maternal flesh of what used to be. He shall have her and waste her like so much wine upon his goatee, dribbled upon his chest and his cock. The funk of the hunt and lust fills the halls, the haunting trill of the lyre and the heartbeat beneath the misery and shouts. The dirt beneath her fingernails is flesh, God flesh, goat flesh. He is sated for now. She departs to haunt the hills, the sky, and his core. This next poem is called Hierarchy of Needs. Sleep is for the weak. I hate food. Food is for those who still have blood in their veins. I have ether. It oozes from my eyes. I'm immortal now, but I don't dwell in Olympus or Valhalla. I live in hell. Oh, you didn't recognize it, lined with silicone and shrapnel? Step inside my silver shell. I will treat you well, my darling. I need your warmth when the sun goes down behind a cloud. I need your warmth so I can move. Basking on a rock star's back only lasts so long. Sleep, food, shelter, love, fuck it all. I need words. Fill me up with pretty, pretty words. Then the ether flows. The immortal being glows. And I shine for you, my darling. The next book I wrote was during a very difficult time, around 2015, when I was living in Florida, and I was separated from my children. I was hospitalized 5 times, and I had a lot to escape from. So the themes that developed in my poetry were themes of escape. And I collaborated with an illustrator named Tarandina Badi, and she did these wonderful illustrations of escape artists doing death-defying stunts. And it turned out to be a really sexy book, and I hope you all will check it out. But anyhow, I'm going to do some readings from that. And because I'm with some friends tonight that have heard a lot of these poems before, I'm going to read some of the poems from this book that I don't always read, to give you kind of maybe the alternative side of the art of escape. The first poem I'd like to read is called Sexual Favors. Always open your mouth a little wider for the boyfriend, for the husband. Always sink a little deeper in your crouch of gratitude, popping that ass in the air. Always find a secret refuge just for him. A sexy sigh only he hears. And it becomes a trap for his sexploitation, his superiority, his authority to do what he pleases, bestowed by you. Always the relationship drains, it seldom replenishes, never fulfills. Always remember to cover your teeth and breathe slowly through your nose while he grabs your skull. Always remember the taste of his cum as his life's force spills passing to you. You never spill a drop. Always hold rap to his war stories, laugh at his tired jokes. Always know the balance of the sighs and blows, the ebbs and flows, the rapes and interrogations of marital relations. You always go back to the crime scene looking for clues. But the boyfriend/husband knows not the ways of love, only the way of ownership and value, and to that he will be true. Your soul may come up lost as long as your body is not missing. The only true love is free love. But are there dark, submissive tendencies in your cave woman DNA? Do you secretly want to be unequal, carried away, impregnated, transformed into a slave for a little bit of warmth and feed? And will that powerful instinct allow rough treatment, exploitation, abuse, a whole world of misery just to preserve that pair bond, just to get a few precious sperm, just to bear children and have a home? Always you see the same story. It's even been my story too. I'd like to write that story anew, beginning today. Remember, each soul is free. No one owns you. Each act of sex can be a declaration of freedom, a liberation of self, and a burst of creation, whether it's with a man or not. So why do the many favors? This next poem is called Flower. Tonight, on a petal's precipice, I do not desire doors open. I wish to crawl along a wet stem and fall into the cup of my words, where the effervescent poison surrounds me, bubbles into airways, my own fragrance, heavy pheromones, funeral garlands, Snow White's torn skin, Thorns favored innocent, not a symbol of love, this rose red, an insatiable climber, a thief of light, destined to drown in folds of darkness, between the bright, pink, lurid, lush bait. Impossible to capture alive, impossible to sell, free to see. I do not desire doors open. I close my hungry mouth. All right. This one is called The Fountain. Wishes don't have to make sense. That penny you throw in the fountain, you don't have to justify what you whisper inside your head. It already proves you are illogical, not quite an atheist. You believe in the god of fountains and the fairy of wishes. Or maybe you figure, what can it hurt to hope just for a second? It can't hurt anything to believe for a second this wondrous thing might happen to you. You really are special. Dreams do come true. It's only a second or two of indulgence. That reward center synapse in the brain flashes. Then it's over. And you come back to your senses and you look at your empty hand and you laugh. Why not do it again? Why not cash in your whole paycheck and fill the fountain up to its brim? But it doesn't work that way. You move along and dismiss it as a whim. The wish your heart was so desperate to say to someone but couldn't. Now a secret. Because if you tell it, it won't come true. So keep silent and let that shiny coin sink with your wish to the bottom of the fountain to reflect metal into sky. Okay. This one is called The Beach. And I wish we had a beach with all this heat going on. First, there were great dragons and sea serpents, an enormous death mirror in the squid's eye, embraced in blankets of tentacles. Then the giant birds descended to pluck the scaly lords from their ocean. Tangled in talons and sullen beaks, they were carried to the land to be eaten. The eyes of the dragon minced with the fertile earth, diamond scales strewn across her moist brown belly. Then God came with his semen of rain to make her complete, full of reptilian flowers that blossom poisoned teeth. These flowers smiled at me, begging, pluck me, quaff me deep. You cannot hear the souls crushed beneath us as you rape me to pieces. I am pregnant with 1,000 stories. I walk the earth drunk with bastard mysteries. Every time I open my mouth to speak, they rush forth, motley armies of snakes, flowers, beasts, unraveling, determined to avenge their stolen mother. Streak the slime of time on every shining leaf. Every shore of washed-up secrets is strewn with detritus of the orgy, the cannibalistic ritual, the consummation. This one is called Perfect Life. The first day you get out of the mental hospital, the lack of sickness in the air is sweet. You take it in, you hold your breath, grateful for little things. The quiet click of your keyboard, a decent shower, being able to shave unobserved, being able to use a real pen. But after a while, you begin to think of the people you met within those walls, wondering what will happen to them. Because the irony of it all is that you meet some of the best people in unlikely places like homeless shelters, crazy houses, and jails, and some of the worst people in high society, politics, and churches. You see, what I value most in people is the bright light shining in a tortured soul that refuses to be put out, despite the most brutal circumstances. Maybe that's what drives me mad, is the rest of the world can't see it and elevates vain and obnoxious people instead. Every breath of happiness and freedom I take is with humble acknowledgement to our condition of human suffering. I will never forget the friends that I made there, and it is they that make me grateful for my experience of a less than perfect life. Now I'd like to read you guys some poems that are from an unpublished collection that I'm working on. I hope for it to come out this spring. It's called Mirrors and Mirages, and it's about my experience coming to Albuquerque, which I did at the end of 2015, and a lot of experiences happened to me in Albuquerque. It wasn't easy, but it represents the restoration of my life, being slowly reunited with my children, struggling with a lot of things. Like I said, it wasn't easy. I was in a little studio apartment when I first came to Albuquerque. My car got stolen. Lots of things were rough, but a lot of things restored my spirit to being reunited with my children, having this wonderful job where I worked with the wildlife in Albuquerque in a wildlife rescue, connecting with the nature here, connecting with the people here. It's a story of spiritual restoration as well. So anyhow, this is the first poem that I would like to read to you from my experience and my journey through Albuquerque. Sword. My hand drips with the blood of saints. My pussy scent fills the air. I stare at windows that pulse and flame the open matrix. I can't come anymore. I wish for the excitement of fear, the chase, the thrill and tragedy of rape. What a poor feminist am I. What a whore. What a well-trained bitch who snapped at the core, who became the fundamental Kali Ma dancing upon her pale dead lover. Washed in bones and gore. Each death wish, fearful or fervent, is my necklace. My compassion is infinite. I will bring peace. I open the burning window to heaven. Between my legs is release. Death is sex, sex is death. Watch red vaginas bloom from my sword. This poem is called Tucumcari. I fly 110 miles per hour past Tucumcari on the first day of spring. I am leaving my 13-year-old son behind me in Amarillo. The blinding clarity of my new life and its lack of responsibilities is as bare and aimless as the tumbleweeds dashed to pieces by the semi's wheels. The sky is clear and piercing, red ridges in sharp relief as I rocket down I-40 west. Is it an effect of my heightened senses, my relentless, undistracted tension since I gave up smoke and drunkenness? Forever aware, forever intense, always speeding 110, always alert at the wheel. Here are the great mountains, the dust storms, sudden falling rocks, and I am ready for them. I take them all in. I won't miss a moment of the disappointment of leaving my son behind, of missing him, like a peach without a pit, hollow, caving in. All I see is desert flying beneath me as my speed slowly climbs. I can have the fastest, clearest perception that resonates perfectly because that which is empty is clean. I am sober and empty and clean. I ride fast as wind through the desert. I fly 110 miles per hour past Tucumcari on the first day of spring and wonder to what purpose this cleanliness, this emptiness, this sobriety, this speed. To what purpose the desert's clarity? This next poem is called The House of Light. My children ask me about my sickness. Ask me what if? What if it had been different? What if we hadn't had to leave and go live with Dad? I tell them I'm better now. I take medicine. But I too fall into the pit of what if. The past can swallow you. I remember the decision, the packing up of all the toys, and now the precious visits that are the gift of motherhood and childhood that find a way through the darkness of absence. Together again, no matter what delusions or barriers stood in the way, no matter what confusion tried to dominate my soul, the bond between us shines through the swamp like a beacon to the shining hill of my dreams, where the house where we all live together again burns full of light. This poem is called I Want to Open Myself. I want to open myself like a flag unfurling in the hot wind of the night, like a wave of froth undulating before the soft, sandy shore, like a flower full of nectar inviting the buzzing honeybee, like a tiger leaping across a waterfall. I want to open myself so wide I split and become infinite. I want to open myself so you can see my naked soul shaking with delight. I want to open myself without reservation or cover and bare myself to your flesh. I want to open myself because I'm tired of only going there by half. So tonight is the night I will throw away my armor and pierce myself with a knife, the knife of resistance. And here I will lie open to you, and only you, at last. This is called Wendy's Song, a bisexual fairy tale. I never wanted Prince Charming, that good-looking idiot, chasing every woman in the kingdom the next day, holding a stinking slipper as if he couldn't remember my face after dancing all night, or waking me out of an enchanted sleep with a sloppy kiss like some kind of rapist or necrophiliac. I always wanted Peter Pan, the guy with the gang of lost boys fighting pirates, the boy who was quick and rough then flew away, the boy with the silver tongue and lightning sword. And I wanted Tiger Lily too, the haughty foreign princess, gorgeous, tough, full of color and pride. I wanted my fairy tales full of blood and high adventure, none of that mushy rot. I wanted to make the fairy dust fly when I stole Peter away from that little twit Tinkerbell. I wanted to fight alongside Peter and Tiger Lily to win a ship and sail to the Isles of Neverland, down to a hideout in the trees, and for the three of us to lie in each other's arms, where we whisper golden songs of our dreams to defeat adult schemes, nursery rhymes, and the crocodile of time. This is about a friend of mine who I lost. It's called Wild Mountain Honey, and it was published by the Lavender Hour Review. You were sunflowers swaying in the wind. You were wild mountain honey smeared on my lips. You begged forgiveness for all the things we could not be to each other, and yet you showed up to be above and beyond what most friendship is. You and I got tattooed with the same dirty ink. You and I walked miles of Albuquerque's streets. You and I tripped and flipped, and whether wasted or broke or swimming in cash, it was all the same to two poetesses, to two badasses. And I won't regret a single moment of the dance as I lay this sunflower along the busted sidewalk crack and think of the last time I held you close against me, and you were so thin and yet so strong. You made me feel strong too. I will always love you, sunflower, wild honey desert nymph, my true friend. These poems that I'm going to read next are not part of any collection. They're just some things that have been on my mind lately, some things I've written. On August 4th, I went out to the Rio Grande out by Tingley Beach, where there's an observation deck out by the Central Avenue Bridge. And usually there's several families out there recreating with their umbrellas along that beach, enjoying the river. And I thought there might be at least a trickle of water from some rains that we had had prior to that, but it was completely dry. I did a video of it on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out, but it inspired this poem. It's very sad. It's hot. It's 85 degrees inside. It's 106 degrees outside. The river is dry. I can smell my armpits and my pussy. I got the global warming blues. I don't know why I have to have no gas in my tank and no wine in my cup. Nowhere to go and nowhere to look up. They say there's a war somewhere in a desert a lot like here, but I don't know anyone over there. Maybe she's my sister. And the birds are lost because the places they once flew to are all dried up. To return the blessed snows to the mountains, we beg the gods. I've got the global warming blues. This next poem is called Can I Teach You to Write? If we trained poets the way you should truly train them, not in universities, but as an art, a skill, like a trade, if we had a guild and a master had to teach an apprentice, what tasks would have to be fulfilled? You would have to experience unrequited love. You would have to experience joy and loss and drunkenness. You would have to undertake a solo journey. You would have to know loneliness. You would have to explore strange gardens. All this before you ever picked up a pen. You will be on a whirlwind of experiences, coordinated to bring out your unique creativity. The artist's life, the well of their inspiration, is the basis from which all else rises. If you risk nothing, no sparks fly. And I'd like to close with a poem called Might As Well. We carry the mantle of existence. Birth is non-consensual. For whatever reason our parents brought us into this mess, we are here by 1 in 400 billion chance, or some such ridiculous statistic. Might as well make the most of it and continue to do improbable things. Don't be ordinary. Don't despair. Turn your imagination into reality. Heal the planet.